What's good, y'all? I want to talk to y'all today about forgiveness, but not only just like forgiving yourself, but forgiving other people and the power that that holds and how you can kind of use it to move forward. So, recently, right, because I'm very vulnerable with you guys on this channel, there was this girl that I wanted to reach out to, she kind of caught my eye, I was interested, and I was very hesitant. I was very kind of scared in a sense. The reason why I was scared was because I didn't know how to approach the situation because I was judging myself based upon my past situations, right? I was looking at all the times that I messed up. I was looking at all the things that I've did, that hit my own self-esteem, things just like I know I shouldn't have did that or that was, lower than me and I still did it, or people doing damaging things, treating me funny, acting weird, whatever the case may be. I was harboring all of those things, and I noticed every single time that I was about to get in some type of relationship or, start talking to somebody, I would start thinking about all of the past, experiences that I had to go through. In other words, all of those memories just started replaying in my head, and I just started realizing, like, wait a second, my attachment to these memories and my attachments to these exes, these past friends, these past people, whatever the case, ooh, almost fell, is holding me back from new. Being able to look at myself and detach myself from those past experiences. Like, even though I did those things, I don't think that necessarily makes me who I am. All because these people didn't value me and they didn't see me and they didn't cherish me doesn't mean that I'm not something to be valued and cherished. And it also tells me that not everybody is going to have that reaction to me. Not everybody is going to, in other words, not see what they have in front of them. So I ended up taking the risk. I ended up texting her. She took a while to get back. I'm not gonna lie, but she did get back, and I responded. I have to check the text. So far, late replies. You know what I'm saying? Just like normal stuff. I'm not putting too much pressure on it, but it's just getting comfortable within myself again. I just closed myself off from relationships. Like, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a video going up on this channel sometime where it's like, stop giving your body away so easily. In that video, it's kind of taught this. You can see the hurt or the change in perspectives that I've been having to go through when it comes to dating. It's really put me in my shell. It's really made me very to myself, and it's crazy because there's women everywhere, y'all. Like, I feel like I'm an attractive person, so I don't think I have like a problem or anything like that to where I can't get women. But it was just after you've been hurt so many times, you start second guessing things. And I'm a natural lover, right? I'm a natural lover boy, so I can never really get that deep to where I'm just like f women. I don't care, um, and just come like really emotionally cold. I'm always gonna have that open heart. So it's like, how do I manage this? How do I move forward? And I was noticing the key to that was letting go, and it was forgiving myself. It it took so much weight off of me, and it answered a lot of questions because I was going through periods where it was like, why am I single? Like, why can't I get certain women? Or not even why can't I get certain women? Why am I not with certain women? You get what I'm saying? Like, what's happening? And as I was looking back, I'm noticing like I was blocking myself because every single time, like I said at the beginning of the video, every single time I would have that urge of looking somewhere else, I would get that reminder of, somebody I thought I still wanted, or, what I did in the past, just something crazy. So really giving myself that amount of grace to be like, I'm allowing myself to move forward. I'm allowing myself to experience new. I'm allowing myself not to be stuck to those past situations. Um, it feels good, right? Because it's like I don't feel stuck to my pain, right? But then, like any other adventure in life, this comes with a great deal of patience and learning. Because now that I'm receptive to new people, doesn't mean that everybody's gonna like me. You know, it doesn't mean that I'm going to be everybody's cup of tea. Um, it doesn't mean that I'm going to just choose all the right women or pick, the right partners to do these. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that I'm not going to be learning during this process, because this is always a learning journey and a learning experience. But it's just something that I've had to be a little bit more consciously aware of, something I had to pay more attention to. I dog, I've had really long celibacy journeys. Like, I've went the whole nine of like just really focusing on my energy. And when you feel that deep, when you're an empath, you kind of have difficulties, letting people in, because you already know, if I let you in, there's a very high chance that we're gonna get deep. I'm gonna catch emotions, whatever the case may be. Like, it's gotten to the point where I don't even know how capable I am of having a surface level, just like situationship type of relationship. I don't know if I have it like in me anymore, because every single time I try to do it, it doesn't work. I'm gonna be honest with you. It doesn't work because of me, right? I catch feelings. I get my emotions involved. I start seeing things like, I don't think I'm supposed to be treated like this. Like, I know like normal side dudes get treated like this, like they get the bare minimum treatment, but I'm not a bare minimum dude. So this is irritating me, because the ways that you're treating me isn't, no, 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 no. Stop, And that puts me in that predicament, because it just blows my mind sometimes when you start seeing the ways that people act and people treat you. Sometimes when they think that you're an option, it messes you up internally. You start really thinking you're an option. You start really like questioning your self-worth. Like, how am I an option? I'm an option? Whoa. Huh? Like, I understand like you shouldn't need anybody, but to like label somebody as an option is like, wow, am I not like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it shows no like genuine connection of like authenticity and true, connection. Like, I see you. It's like, no, you're blending in with a whole lot of other people. Yeah, it's very interesting. It's very interesting. But yeah, I mean, now that I've moved forward, now that I'm starting that releasing process and that forgiveness process, things is becoming so much easier. Like, I'm flowing through. I'm a lot more confident, because I'm not replaying the old stories. I'm not sitting here wondering if somebody's going to come back, wondering if something's going to change. I'm not wondering about any of these things. It's just like, okay, it happened. That was a part of my life. Now, there's also a million other beautiful things waiting for me in my life, and I just have to walk towards them and go after them. And probably the easiest way, I like the birds, how to, the birds can pass me, but probably the easiest way for me to do that is by simply going after the things that I want. Like, going after the women, going after the goals, going after, whatever, monetary or non-monetary, spiritual or non-spiritual, going after what you truly desire. It helps a lot. Your past does not dictate your future in no facet. So when it comes to forgiving the people, understand that they helped you get to where you got to. I had this one really, really, really bad relationship. Kind of, I'm gonna sit like this. I'm gonna get like real, real crazy with y'all. It sent me into this really crazy just period into my life, right? Like, I wasn't feeling good about myself at all. My self-esteem was actually terrible at the time, because of what was happening. Like, I felt like there was online slander. I felt like things were being said about me on the internet that's kind of wasn't true. So it put me in like a defensive mode, where like I felt like my name was getting slandered. So it made me defend myself, but then the process of me defending myself made me look even crazier. You get what I'm saying? So it was like, okay, that really broke me down spiritually. Um, and the ways that I forgave that person was by looking at it like, if you didn't do that, I probably wouldn't have became the person that I became afterwards, right? Because that healing process was so powerful. I started picking up my passion. I started making more money, clapping in the background. You feel me? All of these things is like spiritual. You feel me? But I started making more money. I just got really ambitious. I got really passionate. Things started to shift in the ways that I necessarily wanted it to, because of that heartbreak. It opened my eyes to a lot of things. If my mind wasn't opened in the ways that it was, I would have reacted to things a lot differently. I wouldn't have been so bold and courageous in certain areas. because I would have still been operating from the low self esteem. You know, so it's kind of crazy. My self esteem was low, and that breakup hit it even lower, which caused it to shoot up even higher, right? Actually hitting rock bottom. And when I look back, I cannot hold no resentment towards that person. Like I've even like texted that person and told that person, like, thank you. You know, that type of thing is very beneficial, and that type of thing changes a lot in your interactions and in your relationships. Or even things like mommy and daddy issues, family problems, realizing that these people are human, being able to be like, you know what, you made a mistake, you're still growing, even though I have emotional attachment to you because you're my family, which is crazy because relationships and family usually hold that same amount of weight. You can experience heartbreak from losing a loved one just as much as, losing a relationship. And that loved one doesn't have to actually leave the physical, just the detachment of, the relationship could, do certain things to you. And holding resentment behind that detachment is only going to kill you inside. So being able to look at that person and be like, I understand what you did. I may not like what you did. What you did really hurt. And you may not even completely be sorry for what you did. But my own moral compass and my own standards as a being knows that it is counterproactive and counterproductive for me to hold this against you. So I'm going to let it go. But that saying, I forgive, but I never forget, is the truest thing that you can remember when it comes to forgiveness. You let it go, right? I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. I'm not going to throw it in your face. I'm not going to let it replay in my head, anything like that. But I'm going to always remember that this is a part of you. This is probably something you're capable of. And I'm going to move accordingly. I'm going to move based upon what I've seen. It's all love. But we have to hold not only ourselves but other people accountable. Holding yourself accountable looks like, I know that this isn't good for me. I know that this is, damaging me. I know that this is, counterproductive. And knowing that you need to separate yourself. Sometimes that's holding yourself accountable. To a lot of people, that may look like you're running and avoiding problems and all that type of stuff. But man, when you step too far, and when it's just time for it to just stop. You know, to put an end to it. Don't feel guilty about those things. Talk about that on my channel too. Taking time for yourself is not selfish at all. So yeah, man, I think that's the end of this video. I've had so many distractions since I've got to this park. This is my last resort filming place. I tried to film on my yoga mat and stuff, but we in Los Angeles on a Saturday, so there's people everywhere, man. But yeah, with that being said, I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. As always, I have my books down in the description. Message to South Central. It's a lot of healing. It's a lot of perspective. It's just a lot of wisdom in those books. I think y'all should check them out. So with that being said, I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all again. And be safe out here. Keep healing. And let's move forward together. See y'all later.